In cities in particular, often nature can feel like somewhere that you need to go to. It's where we live every day, and if we just look close enough with some imagination and story and theatre, we can really bring that to life.
Good morning, Basil. Good morning, Lily.
Good morning, Plum. Good morning, Basil.
Uprooted is an outdoor theatre production that has been created with and for children and young people around Glasgow. The production features a living stage of plants, vegetables, herbs, flowers, fruits that have been sown by primary school children across Glasgow.
The living stage developed out of an idea that I had in 2012, so about 3 years ago now, and I had this idea of growing a stage, creating a recyclable, biodegradable, edible performance space, something that a space that you could eat. The living stage is based on ecological design principles, so one of the principles is design comes from place. And using what's around you to inspire the design, and using found objects, recyclable materials, things that you find on the street as part of that process, rather than coming up with a preconceived idea.
Out to Play is an outdoor learning project exploring the role of drama and storytelling in outdoor learning.
It's been an amazing 10 weeks of play and learning and exploration, and we've been focusing on different elements of the natural world: the water cycle, life underground, trees, animals, about journeys and migration. A lot of my role has been about imagination, because it's like we're going to go outside and do nature connection in a big concrete playground. And how do you inspire that sense of wonder with nature in that environment? And it's about a hunter in a land where north, south, east and west meets. It's been an amazing opportunity to tell some stories about the natural world and about humans and their relationships with nature. Drama is almost like a rehearsal for life, and if we're learning about nature, then I hope that they can go into woodland and have a deeper sense of connectedness and care for that environment, even if the school environment doesn't give it to them.
During some of the Out to Play sessions, we would brainstorm ideas for the set and the story, and we would do some set design with the children and also the planting.
Two people to a plant, and you hold them by their roots, okay? Don't hold them by the stem.
It becomes a natural thing at this age when you learn something when you're young. You know, if you've got the basics and just seeing something growing from seed to plant to something that you can eat, and then going back down to seeds again, it's really good for them to learn about the sort of cycle of life.
We're filling it with soil, and we've put holes in it, so if there's too much water it'll leak out, and we're going to put seeds in it, and it'll be in a nature stage. We've also planted some sunflowers, bean flowers, stuff like that, in pots.
Just at the end there was a group of children around the compost bag, and they had their hands in the compost bag, and I couldn't get them to take their hands out. It was like, oh, it's so relaxing.
The story that has grown out of the living stage itself has really come together. So it's very much the stage or the design and the story becoming one.
The show is about 3 characters, quite quirky characters, Basil, Lily and Plum, who live in this kind of topsy-turvy world.
A play about plants, really. And it was about these people who had plants growing nearly everywhere in their house, especially in their teacups.
Ultimately, it's about looking after your environment, and for us within the play, that's like our kind of like home.
It's alive. It's alive, yeah. None of this is a theatre spectacle or trick. It's real, it's alive, and it's living right in front of our eyes.
I liked the part when one of the characters, Lily, did all the, tricks and stuff. She had a flower in between her toes and she was like kind of dancing with it, so like turning her toes around, and it was really cool.
Some of the most unexpected but satisfying things have been learning to think of plants as co-performers in a weird topsy-turvy world, but one that reflects the world that we all live in as well, and it's really instantly recognisable and has an emotional heart as well.
We are now seeing all these plants and it's just amazing to see that we've grown them. At the end you got to try some of them, and I never knew you could, eat flowers. I always thought they were just for, decoration and nature.
I think they were talking about for us to grow more stuff because it helps the environment, and we live in the environment.
Wherever you are, whatever you have, you can still plant things.
At the end of the day, you just need a welly, really, and you can plant it in there.
And let Scotland take care of it. Mostly rain, how it takes care of it. And maybe sunshine, maybe if you're lucky.
And what I've loved about this project is the fact that it has this whole kind of cycle. So the plants have been grown by the children in the schools, and then we kind of take over the care of them for the tour period. And then they go back to one of the schools, and I just love that it's got that arc to it. It's definitely about, if you look after plants, they'll look after you.
Can a design leave a positive contribution? We talk a lot about efficiencies, minimising waste and minimising impact, but what I'm interested is not just doing that, but also to see what can we leave behind. Can we leave behind something positive and something hopeful?
The Kung Fu tree.
I think the biggest impact I've seen is in terms of concentration, behaviour, and also from an inclusion point of view. We have a number of children who maybe struggle with English as a second language perhaps, or who have behavioural difficulties or emotional difficulties, and in the classroom setting it's difficult to get them engaged with their learning, especially boys for who outdoor learning is a thing that they really enjoy doing, and they're so focused and switched on in their learning outside, and they come to me on a daily basis and go, oh, guess what? Remember that thing we were talking about in play last week? Well, I saw this and I did this, and I would do this at weekends with my mum and dad, and it's things like that that have this lasting effect on them. And it's been great having the likes of Ben, his many skills and talents. He makes you want to be a better person and a better teacher, actually, because of his way with the children, and it's been really lovely to watch that, and it's made me think a lot about things, and it'll have a massive impact on my practice, certainly.
So the schools tour visited 4 schools across Glasgow in the north, south, east and west of the city, and today we're at our last stop, which is Corpus Christi Primary School, and they're also going to be the recipients of the stage today, which we've been replanting with the children.
I'm really excited because we're just at this stage right now. We're about to sort of open the second stage of the living stage, which is where it's all being placed in Corpus Christi in their garden. And so we're really actually reimagining the space and really kind of bringing their garden to life. I'm really pleased to see that, that the story and the Uprooted set design is going back to where it all started, really.
Well, it feels pretty impressive also to know that we have planted all these things, and now it's part of a show. We're going to have them in our school for years to come, and yeah, it just feels really good. It was amazing to know that my plants and a lot of other people's plants are in an actual play, which has been round to a lot of festivals and like that.
It feels like I'm famous because I'm growing stuff, and take all over the world. So it feels like I'm kind of famous.